Hi everyone, welcome to the first episode of the Handmade Homebody. I'm sorry if I'm talking really quiet. I think I'm just super nervous about filming a podcast in general. It took me a long time to even start talking, so please be prepared in case this episode is all over the place. It might be all over the place. I'm not sure how I'm going to organize these, but we'll see as I keep going. So my name is Jade. I go by the Handmade Homebody on Instagram, and I learned how to knit in 2017. I was taught by my partner Kendall's aunt, and I only learned basic knitting. She taught me how to knit, and then after that it was all me. I kind of learned how to read patterns and a lot of YouTube videos, honestly, to help me read patterns, and here I am. I've accumulated quite a lot of yarn stash, and I'm very happy to be a knitter, like a full-time knitter. So yeah, so I think I'm gonna organize this in the way that I've seen other knitting podcasts organize this, by talking about finished objects, then my whips, and my yarn acquisitions. I've always loved knitting podcasts. I love having them in the background when I knit, so I'm very excited to be part of this knitting podcast community. Disclaimer, if you hear noises, it's either my partner moving around, or I live on a very busy street in Seattle, and I live where the buses go by, and my neighbors, you know if you live in an apartment. So yeah, I live in Seattle in a studio apartment with my cat Martha and my partner Kendall. We've been together for 3.5 years. But yeah, she's been very supportive of my knitting, and she loves that I knit because I get to knit things for her. Okay, so to start, sorry, that's probably the fridge making noise. It'll bend eventually. So my first category I'm gonna do is the finished objects. So this is the first finished object in months, probably. I tend to start and then not finish. I'm sure all of you guys know how that feels. But I tend not to cast on a lot of things because I'm very anxious. I get really overwhelmed and stressed easily when I have a lot of things on the needles. So I try to do at least 2 at a time, I want to say, or 3 max. So my first finished object is the Ripple Crop Top by Jessie May Designs. It turned out so beautiful. It's knit in Hedgehog Fiber stock yarn in the colorway Harvest. I've had this yarn for about 1.5 years now, and I originally was going to use it for a Lydia tank, but I forgot who the Lydia tank is by. Courtney Little? I think that's her name. Or she was Ivy and Autumn, I think. I think it was, I don't know, I'm not sure. If anything, I'll put it down in the description. But I don't know why, I just didn't finish it, and I've been pining after a Ripple Crop Top ever since I learned how to knit, to be honest. So I just bit the bullet and did it. Turned out nice, but I'm actually not quite happy with the finished product as much as I thought it would be. So usually I'm a size medium or large in garments, but I knit a small because I thought it would stretch out a lot, because it's a superwash yarn, and wet blocking, already kind of stretches things pretty intensely. So, but it actually turned out a lot more fitted than I wanted it to be, so it's not as big or boxy as much as I wanted it to be. I think bound off the sleeves a little too loose, but they look really ruffled. I did the Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off, I think that's what it's called, because usually I bind off really tight, so I was really scared that it was gonna be too tight, but should have listened to my gut because it just didn't work out. So I'm not happy with the way it looks on me, but I think it's beautiful regardless. I might give it to a friend of mine because I feel like this would look cute on her, but I am knitting another one in yarn that is coming soon, and so I'll show that in the next episode. But I really enjoyed this knit. It's so meditative and so calming, and it definitely brought back my knitting mojo. I really enjoyed it, so I'm excited to knit another one. I love doing ribbing. I know a lot of people don't like doing ribbing, but I really love it. So yes. All right, I had to pause because I think there's a leaf blower coming, so I might have to stop any second. But then I'll keep going if I do stop. So my works in progress. Right now I have 2 only. The first one is a basic ribbed sock with a garter stitch heel. I think it's like slip stitch. I don't know. But this is for my partner. She's been pining after this colorway. Like I've had this in my stash for probably since November, and she's been asking me like every day to make her a pair of socks with this. She loves it, and so I started making her socks last week because I wanted something small and like portable, and like something mindless to knit when I was watching TV or something. So I'm on the toe right now. This is only the first sock, so I'm really excited with the way it's turning out. It's super pretty. I love it. It looks like a sunset. So I think I think she was the one who chose a ribbed detail. I thought like a design would kind of it would just lose the design if it was knit in this like very variegated yarn. So the ribbed is so pretty with it. It's perfect. Again, I love ribbing. I don't mind doing it. I'm a continental knitter, so it's a little tricky, but I love it. Like I find it very satisfying, and I think it's meditative. It's just like move the yarn in the front, move the yarn to the back, you know, all that stuff. So that's one. So my next one is the Throwback Cardigan by Andrea Mowry. I've been wanting to knit this cardigan since I learned how to knit. I've been saying that about all these garments, to be honest. But now I'm just starting to actually like dive into them and start knitting them after looking at them for so long. So I started swatching for it. I'm using Quince & Co. Lark yarn. It's here, let me see if I can pull. This is the main color. It's called Honey. It's so pretty. It's 100% American wool. It's really squishy. Blooms when it blocks, which I'll show you in a bit. But yeah, I bought this, and I'll show you the other colorways that I got, and these are the contrasting colors. Super beautiful. I think it's like exactly in this order. So it was very inspired by my friend Meredith Mareberry on Instagram. I asked her if I can take her color choices because me and her have very similar tastes in colors, and so I'm very happy. I have never had a cardigan in my wardrobe, and I'm kind of going through this phase of like being very minimal with my wardrobe and just having like the essentials. So this is probably my most colorful, to be honest, my most colorful garment for the fall and winter. Like in the future I'll show you my other yarns for other projects. They're very neutral, but I still think it's very neutral enough, you know. I love the mustard. It looks almost brown and I really love it, so I'm excited to have this in my wardrobe. So I'm doing that. So this was the first swatch. It was a mess because my color work was all over the place. So I just didn't, you have to knit the color work on the wrong side as well, and it was just very difficult for me. I already struggle with color work in general, like in the round, so I was very nervous to do this. So it was really wonky the first time. Like it just was all over the place, and like some stitches are bigger, some are tighter. It's just a mess. So I wasn't happy with it, and I was very nervous that I wasn't gonna be able to knit it. But then one of my friends, or friend I already said, Meredith, sent me a video on how she held her yarn and how she knits color work on the pro side, so it helped a lot because it was a lot better the second time I swatched, or I blocked them, so they look a lot better too because of that. But they bloomed. It's like, it's stuck. Like, I think this yarn was perfect for color work, so I'm really happy I went with this. But I got gauged for that pattern. I was very shocked because I did not think I was going to. But yeah, so I will show you what I have. So right now I'm working on the yoke. I finished the first color work pattern and I'm on the second one. So it's hard to kind of show because this is on a long circular. But see, do you see the little triangles? It's super pretty. It's weird having just like this loose thing that's not connected. But it's been really fun. I noticed that my color work got a lot tighter when I started knitting the big color work chart with them like more than 2 colors. So I went up a needle size and it looks a lot better because I was definitely losing my stitches because they were very tight. But I'm really happy with it and I'm very excited to keep going. It's a very addictive knit, so I definitely want to keep going today. So my next category is yarn acquisitions. I have a few that I got in the last week, so I'm very excited. So the first one is, this skein was gifted to me by Explorer Knits and Fibers. It's the colorway Joshua Tree. She had this thing where like if you emailed her a reason why you would want a free skein, and so I did it. I was supposed to go camping for the first time before this whole thing happened, and it was supposed to be at Joshua Tree, so I thought it was very serendipitous that she was making a Joshua Tree colorway. It's so beautiful. It's definitely my colors. It is so precious. I think I'm gonna knit some socks with it because I feel like it's more of a sock yarn. Very happy though, so it's really beautiful. So very excited to get that. And the next one is, I bought it at my job. I work at a local yarn store here in Seattle. I'm very lucky, but I visited them and because I needed to buy some yarn, and I got gifted a skein by a local dyer named Wedgwood Fibers. Here is her label. She named it Javi. That was my previous name. All of you guys know. But it's super beautiful. It's a DK weight. It's a superwash merino. 218 yards, but I love it. These are my colors 1000%. I love the pinks and the orange, and it's also like brown. I love it so much. I was so happy. So when I got this, that day the contrast racer bra came out by Jessie May, so I bought yarn for that. So the main color is going to be this. It's Mantosh DK in the color Saffron. I've loved this colorway for a very long time. Again, it's the browns. I love the browns, the brown colors. But the body is going to be knit in this, and then the contrast will be this, and I think it's going to be so pretty. I think I'm going to start this after I finish the socks. Not quite sure, but I like to have my projects ready, like sweater quantities there, because I felt like I had a stash with just like random 1 skeins of sock yarn and not enough for sweaters. So I'm very excited. Very pretty. So that is it for all the things that I have. I guess I have one more acquisition, but it's not like very yarn. It's not a yarn acquisition. I got a Notions pouch from Shop Knitting with Nelly, I think her name is. But I pre-ordered this Notions pouch. I've been wanting her project bags for a very long time, and I really want one. Haven't yet to get one. Haven't been able to, but I got a Notions pouch, and it's really pretty. It's a little moon, and it's so beautiful. It's perfect size. Like, I love it so much. Carries all my stuff very perfectly. But yeah, you'll probably hear a leaf blower get closer and closer, but it's good because I'm about to end the episode. So thank you for watching. If you did, I know this is all over the place. I will figure out a structure, and I want to make them longer because I just don't have that many whips right now, and I didn't have that many yarn acquisitions, but I find it really fun to share what I'm knitting. So thank you for watching. I don't know how much I'll post, maybe like every other week is what I'm thinking. So yeah, but thank you so much for joining me. All right, thank you.